Hello and welcome to Organized-ish. My name is Leela and today I want to share with you my secret method for how I'm able to keep my house semi-tidy and decluttered and organized most of the time. And hear me out, it does not take me all the time. It actually just takes me 5 minutes a day. Let me tell you my secret. Now you're probably thinking, what kind of magic is this? How is she able to keep her house semi-tidy in just 5 minutes a day? Now this doesn't include cleaning or maintenance or anything like that. This is really just decluttering. And I actually call it the 5-minute declutter method. I've been teaching this to my clients. I've been doing it for myself. I've done this for as long as I can remember, and I promise you it works if you make it a habit. So 5-minute declutter, here's how it goes. You set a timer for 5 minutes, you pick an area, a very small area, and you just declutter. You're just taking things out that don't belong there, you're throwing away any trash, you're moving things that should be in one space and they're in the wrong spot, you're rehoming those, and you're just looking at the amount of things that you own and really evaluating what should be there. Now I know this seems like you're not gonna make any progress at all, right? 5 minutes organizing a space, doing nothing. So here's the thing. One, we are not organizing. That is for another day. That will totally overwhelm you and it definitely takes longer than 5 minutes. So with a 5-minute declutter, you are not organizing, you're not rearranging, you're just tidying up the space. You're getting rid of things that shouldn't be there, and it's really just maintenance. So this seems like it's not going to make any difference, right? I get it. I totally get it. But here's the thing. If you declutter one drawer during a 5-minute declutter, and then the next day you declutter one cabinet in the 5-minute declutter, and the next day you declutter one space by the door, and the next day one space by the stairs, and the next day one shelf in your closet, by the time you have reached the end of the week, you have decluttered 7 spaces in your house. So wait a minute, maybe it does work, right? All these little spaces, they add up to spaces that have been maintained and spaces that aren't full of all these things that shouldn't be there. And what happens is all these areas start to accumulate all this stuff. And we just leave it there because we don't have time to deal with it. And then we end up with this whole weekend of having to declutter. You're doing the purge-a-thon all over again, and it just starts to set this really bad cycle. And that's what the 5-minute declutter prevents. It really just trains you to spend a little bit of time every single day just tidying up a space. There's no schedule, there's no plans. You really just set a timer. You pick an area that bothered you that day. You can follow a list. I have a list of like 50 areas you can choose from, and you can print that out. I'll put it down below. But really the way that I like to do it is if there's a space that annoyed me the day before, like the other day I was trying to get something in the bathroom and the little bath pillow fell over and it knocked over all the things that were underneath it. So all that stuff was kind of scattered. I didn't have time to clean it up. I just left it. And today my 5-minute declutter was tidying up that area and finding a new home for that bath pillow so it doesn't happen again. So you can totally try to follow a list, or you can just go buy something that bugged you, something that you know needs to be taken care of. And this is really just training to teach yourself to stay in the habit, to do this every day. And 5 minutes at first is gonna seem really easy. And then after about a week, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't wanna do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then the next day you're like, oh, I didn't do it yesterday, I'm just gonna skip it today too. And then all of a sudden you're off the wagon and it takes so long to get back in the habit again. So my advice for you is just to start doing it, start it today. It's 5 minutes, you can totally handle 5 minutes, and just do it every single day. Make a commitment to yourself, write it on a Post-it note as a reminder, try to do it every day around the same time if you can. That will really keep you on track. And then as you start to get more comfortable with it, you can work your way into doing 2 5-minute declutters, one at work and one at home. Or you can do this with your kids where everyone does their 5-minute declutter all at the same time. And that is all kinds of different spaces that are getting decluttered. You can also do this as a competition with your partner. It's really fun to see who can find the most pieces of trash around the house, because you would be surprised at how much trash is in your house. You don't really think it's there, and a lot of times you don't really see it, but when you start looking, there are things all over the place that just hadn't made their way to the trash can yet. So that's a really fun way to do it too. So why does this work? How does just 5 minutes a day and one small little space being cleaned up every day, how does it actually help you stay more tidy, more organized, keep things at bay? And it just seems like the small area isn't really going to make a difference. But you're not just decluttering the space. You're not just building the habit to declutter daily. What you're doing is subconsciously you are training yourself to look at the things that you bring into your house. And it's a really cool mind trick that you're doing, because after you've been doing the 5-minute declutter for a while, you start to pick up on similarities and repetition. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I am finding pins in every single room of the house. Every drawer I open, every cabinet I open, there's a pin there, and half of them don't work. The next time you're at the store and you go down that stationery aisle and you see all the pins, and you're a sucker for pins like I am, but all of a sudden you remember, wait, I have gotten rid of so many pins lately. I don't need these pins. I have 1,000,000 pins. I don't need them. And the same thing is going to happen in your closet and in your bedroom, in your nightstand, in your kitchen. The things that you just constantly accumulate, a lot of times we aren't aware of those. We don't really realize how many things we have. We don't really realize what it is that's causing our clutter. We just see a big mound of stuff and we're like, it drives me crazy. But you don't really know what drives you crazy. So when you're taking this time every day and you're actually looking at the things that you own, and you're making sure that these things that you own have a space in your house, that's when you start to reframe your mind on what you should buy, what you shouldn't buy, what you have a lot of, what you need to replace, and you start to be able to prioritize the things that you have in your house. So let's talk about during the 5-minute declutter, what happens if the time runs out and you're not done? You stop. I know, I said it, you stop. It is so unsatisfying to be in the middle of a decluttering project and you have to stop. But here's the thing, when you stop doing something that you want to do, you anticipate being able to do it again. If you have to stop when that 5 minutes is up, the next time that you're able to do that 5-minute declutter and you're able to pick back up where you were, it's so satisfying to be able to finally finish that. You think about it all afternoon. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't get to finish this at my lunch break and I cannot wait to get it done, so it's done. And that's what helps you stay in the habit of this. If you were to just keep going, if 5 minutes ran out and you only got through half of a drawer and you just kept going, and then something else came up and you had to stop and do that, and then you came back, and then all of a sudden you decide, I'm gonna declutter this drawer completely, I'm gonna take everything out. And then you decide, oh wait, now that everything's out, I should clean the drawer. Then you decide, now that everything is clean, I should reorganize it. And then you go to the store and you buy new containers. See how this starts to pile up, and now your afternoon is consumed with all this organizing that you weren't really supposed to do, which in turn makes you not want to do this tomorrow. And that's why I always say at the end of the 5 minutes, just stop, just leave it there. You're always going to anticipate doing more when you're only able to do a little bit and when you're cut short on it. Now, if you're just dying to go ahead and finish this and you have extra free time, sure, go ahead. But the main habit that you should get in is 5-minute timer, set it, go 5 minutes, stop. Okay, so now you're wondering, okay, I'm going to do this every day. Eventually, I'm going to hit all the areas in my house. Then what? Okay, here's the thing. By the time you finish decluttering every single area in your house, you're gonna have to do it again. Here's the thing. You're always getting new stuff, right? That drawer that you decluttered earlier, it has new things in it. Those batteries that you went through and straightened up and organized and rearranged, your kids have already moved around half of them. All the sweaters that you decluttered and refolded and donated some, guess what? You bought new sweaters last week and now they have to be rearranged again. Decluttering and organizing and just keeping a tidy home isn't just a one and done. It's a non-stop process. It's maintenance. It's something that you just have to do forever. So don't see it as something that is gonna have a finish line. It's not. It's never gonna have a finish line until you own literally 0 things. And who wants to own 0 things anyway? Now let's talk about an alternative. So let's say you don't own many things and the decluttering starts to feel a little boring because you're just rearranging some of the same spaces all the time. If you get to that point, another thing that you can do is a digital declutter. And this is also something that you can do if you're on vacation. This is going to keep you in that 5-minute declutter even though you're not at home. So once you get out of a habit, even just for 5 days on a trip, that habit is pretty hard to get back into. So keeping that 5-minute declutter no matter what, and just going through your phone and getting rid of duplicate photos, or going through your email and unsubscribing from all the junk, just taking that time to declutter something every single day, it makes you feel so productive. I don't know what it is, but there's days when I get really busy or really tired or I don't feel good and I don't do a 5-minute declutter and I go to bed and I feel like such a bum. I know, it sounds crazy for me to feel like I was unproductive because I didn't do something for 5 minutes, but once you get in that habit, it's there, it's in your mind, and you're like a whole new person. You are that person that has to have that 5 minutes a day just to do something for your home, for your lifestyle, for your sanity, and there's so much beyond just decluttering a small space in your house that this 5-minute declutter does. It does something to your brain. It does something to the way you feel about yourself, your confidence. It just completely changes you. And I can't even describe it. You just have to experience it. So I'm gonna put a link down below. You can get the list of 50 ideas to get started for your 5-minute declutter. There's a few extra tips and ideas you can follow if you want to get started, or you can just jump right in. Skip the download, and after you finish this video, just go do it right now. Set the timer on your watch or on your phone or in the kitchen, on the microwave, whatever, and just do something for 5 minutes. Pick that one small area, the drawer, the cabinet, the table, the couch, the floor, the kids' toys. Doesn't matter what it is. There is no right answer, and it's fine if you do the same area for 3 days to try to get the whole area cleaned up. Totally fine. But the goal of this is not to finish. The goal of this is just to do something every single day. It's kind of like training for a marathon. You're just building up a little every day to try to be able to run longer, to try to be able to maintain your speed, maintain your breath. I don't know anything about running a marathon, so I don't even know if this is right or not, but it sounds right. But truth be told, I promise you this works. It has worked for so many of my clients. It has worked for so many of my Instagram audience and my blog readers, and I know it will work for you too. So, do I have your commitment? 5 minutes a day. I promise you can do this. Try it for a few days. Come back to this video. Let me know how you're feeling, how it's working for you, what spaces you have already decluttered, and I just cannot wait to hear your success with this because I know you're gonna have success. It's just, it's incredible. It's such a life-changing practice, and it's like the easiest organizing slash decluttering slash cleaning tip you're ever gonna find. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know down in the comments what you think and what area you're gonna declutter first. For more home organization, life organization, and decluttering ideas, want to invite you to subscribe to my channel, like my video. Thank you so much. All of that helps me share this message with even more people who need it, and I will see you in the next one.